guys, welcome back to Embers and Ash. My name's Ashley, if you didn't know, and today I'm going to be watching my minimalist baby gear haul video that I put out when I was pregnant, and I'm going to react to it and talk about all the items that I did and didn't use and what was minimalist and what kind of wasn't. I got this idea from Hey Shayla. If you haven't seen her, I'll link her in the description. She's a fellow YouTuber, puts out wonderful content. I love her stuff. And she filmed herself reacting to her, I think it was her baby shower haul, and basically talked about what was essential and what wasn't. So I decided to do the same thing. Such a good idea. Also, I thought this would be fun because I got some comments on this video just basically saying that I'm not a minimalist, that I bought too much, which you're gonna get anytime you claim to be a minimalist. There's always gonna be people out there saying that you own too much to call yourself a minimalist, so it's fine. But I do agree in some sense that there were quite a few items in this haul that I didn't need and I didn't use, and I'm not mad about it because going into motherhood, you have no idea what you're gonna need, especially because every baby's different, and I did my best trying to be as minimalist as I could. So I'm gonna pull it up on my computer right here. You can see the corner of it, and we're gonna watch it together. But before we do that, I wanna talk about my most recent motherhood essential, who is also today's sponsor, and that is Narwhal. Narwhal is the world's first self-cleaning 2-in-1 vacuum and mop. This little guy will vacuum and mop your entire house with the touch of a button. It connects to an app on your phone where you can select which rooms you want to clean and how many times. I like to set mine to vacuum and mop each room once, and then the trouble areas like the bathroom or around the kitchen table, I set it to mop a second time. That way it really saturates the dirt and the grime and picks it all up. The best part about Narwhal and what made it stand out to me was the fact that it's self-cleaning. It has a clean water reservoir at the home base, which it periodically goes to during a mopping session to clean itself. This means that it's not just spreading the gunk around your house, it's actually cleaning the floors and removing the filth. It also cleans itself at the end of a session, so you don't have to be bothered taking the mop pads off, cleaning them yourself, and putting them back on. It does it all for you. This has been an essential to me in motherhood because ever since Rook has started solids, my floors are never clean, and it's so hard to stay on top of it, and I especially don't want to be spending nap time vacuuming and mopping every day. I have other things I need to do, and you guys know as mothers that nap time is such a precious window of time that I can't always spend it cleaning my floors. Now I can just set the Narwhal free during nap time to vacuum up, mop up, and I can get other things done during this time. And because it's so effortless, I can vacuum and mop my floors every day, which is definitely something I could not do when I was manually cleaning. So if you're interested in picking up a Narwhal yourself, it's launching June 1st, but if you pre-order ahead of time, you can actually save $180, which is pretty significant. I've linked them in the description of this video, and if you guys do choose to pick one up, I would really appreciate you using that link to support my channel. I know this is really a luxury item, but if you have the resources for it, it really has been a game changer for me, and I've been raving about it to everyone who will listen to me because time is fleeting, and anything that can give me more free time, I am all about. Okay, now let's watch my minimalist baby gear haul. Hey guys, welcome back to Embers and Ash. Okay, first off, why is my voice so high? I've heard before that your voice can get lower after having a child. I wonder if that's the case or if it's just like my old camera. I don't know. Sorry, that's besides the point. We decided on a bag that I'm very excited about. It is this, how do you pronounce it? Fjallraven? Is that it? This guy, this brand. Okay, first off, yes, I love that diaper bag. We're still using it today. I'm really happy we went with a very gender neutral bag, and also that we didn't get a proper diaper bag just because they're way more expensive and they have little differences to them, but not worth the price tag in my opinion. So I do love this bag. Well, the wipes that we've chosen, or that I've chosen, Josh doesn't really care too much, but going along with my like natural lifestyle, I wanted to make sure that I picked diapers and wipes that are fragrance-free and paraben-free. So we have kept up with the fragrance-free, dye-free wipes. We haven't with the diapers, just because I wonder if they do this on purpose, but the newborn size diapers in the more like healthy version, they're not that much much more expensive, but as they go up in size, they were just getting too expensive. We couldn't afford them. Also, so I only bought, I think it was like 2 boxes of newborn diapers, and I'm very glad I did because Pampers didn't work for us. They didn't fit Rook really well. We ended up going with Huggies, which fit Rook a lot better. So I would highly suggest that you also don't get too many of the same brand because you don't know if they're actually gonna work for you. And then this is a little extra, and I might think that this is a waste after I actually have the kid, but I got this Baby Bumco diaper cream applicator. Yeah, I haven't used this thing once. For one, Rook doesn't get bad diaper rash that often, so I just use my finger and wipe it off with a wipe. Maybe if he was getting really bad diaper rashes, I would want that to make my life easier, but because it's so infrequent, it was, yeah, I regret getting it for sure. It was just an extra thing that I don't use. That's one of the items I'm most embarrassed about. I'm like, why did I buy a bum cream applicator when I'm trying to be minimalist? Like, I just didn't think. The diaper cream of choice, I went with Desitin. We are using Desitin for when Rook does get diaper rashes, but I did not need that huge tub. I bought the tub and a tube to bring on the go, like in the diaper bag, and we're still working through the tube. I haven't touched the tub of diaper cream. So maybe just get 1 tube, and if your child gets bad diaper rashes, get more. I had this mindset that like, I'm not gonna be able to go to the store after I have a baby, so I tried to stock up on everything, which was a bad idea. The change mat that I got, I'm very excited about. It is a gather mat, which are so cool because they're vegan leather and they just pack really small. Yes, I do love that change mat. Still using it, still loving it. I love how small it is. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space in the diaper bag. Highly recommend. I got this Oogie Bear thing. It's like a nose picker. Okay, I take back what I said about the bum cream applicator. This is my biggest regret. It was so expensive and just, I think I used it once. So unnecessary. I just thought I needed it because people were saying that they used it and loved it, so like, can you blame me? I just like ball up a wipe and put it up Rook's nose if I need to clean his nose. You don't need this. And then I also have some Gripe Water Dr. Chase. I heard that this is a must-have for babies with colic. Again, I would highly recommend not buying things as just-in-case items. Like, just in case my baby has colic, I'll get Gripe Water. I'm sure it's an essential for certain babies, not my baby. I could have bought it after our child came if I needed it. Now for carriers, I have 3 carriers, which feels a little excessive, but they all serve a different purpose. Okay, so the ring sling we didn't use. That's not anything against them. I just tried it. There's a big learning curve and I just didn't want to put the effort in, honestly. I know a lot of people like ring slings. We didn't use it at all. The Ergobaby Embrace was wonderful for the newborn phase. I still put him in it sometimes, but it just doesn't fit as well. And then later on, I bought the Ergobaby 360, which is fantastic because you can put them outwards without like harming their hips. With some of these other carriers, you can put them facing outwards, but it just seems uncomfortable for their hips and I get a little worried, but the Ergobaby 360 is made for it. If you're only gonna get one carrier, I would suggest that one with the newborn insert for the newborn phase. I know it's not the most aesthetic, but it's very practical, especially if you're only getting one carrier. But along with breastfeeding, I do want to introduce a bottle so that my husband can feed the baby every once in a while. Okay, I'm not gonna show you all the bottles I got, but turns out we didn't use any of them. I really thought I wanted to introduce a bottle to get Rook used to it, and I had zero desire. I don't know, I just have been breastfeeding exclusively and loving it. A lot of these bottles I did get for free, which is the best option, obviously, if you can. Those like gift baskets you get for setting up registries, those are fantastic, and it allows you to try a bunch of bottles and then figure out what bottle your child likes if you do go down that path. I didn't. I don't regret this because, again, I didn't spend a lot of money. This was just a lot of freebies and gifts. I wanted to get an electric pump, but they're so expensive, like $500. And if I can't produce enough milk, or if I really am just breastfeeding and I don't really need to pump much, then it might be a big waste of money. So I'm holding off on buying an electric pump. Okay, I got a lot of comments on this. A lot of people very nicely were saying, hey, just use your insurance and get an electric pump for free. Well, in Canada, it doesn't work like that. And I was thinking about it. This is an assumption. I haven't looked into it, but I'm thinking that maybe in the States you can get an electric pump with your insurance because you're expected to go back to work so quickly, and obviously you can't take the baby with you to work, so to make up for it, you get a free pump so that you can still like give them breast milk. That's what I'm assuming. In Canada, we get a year to 18 months maternity leave, so we don't necessarily need a pump. Obviously some women do, but it's not like as necessary in a sense. So yeah, maybe some private insurances offer it. Mine didn't. I know a lot of women don't have it covered here. So yeah, and also I didn't need one. Exclusively breastfeeding, very thankful for that. But I did buy a manual pump. So yeah, I didn't use the manual pump. I regret getting it. It was like 50 bucks, not a big deal, but still like, I didn't need it. Again, I was buying something too early in preparation when I could have bought it as a reaction to, hey, I need to be pumping milk. I have seen some people online say that they pair this with the Haka. Haka, on the other hand, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. I got a lot of milk out of that I froze. Again, we didn't end up using it for Rook, but if you are gonna be bottle feeding and breastfeeding, the Haka is fantastic, especially when your milk first comes in. So much oversupply. And then I got this bottle brush. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. This freaking bottle brush. I haven't used it once. It was too big, like the head of it was too big to fit in bottles. So I didn't bottle feed, but I still would store milk in bottles that I collected from the Haka. And yeah, that thing hasn't touched water once. I don't plan on ever using it. For washing my Haka, I would just use my hand and soap. Yeah, embarrassing. And then I also got a bottle warmer for warming bottles. This is just the Philips Avent one. Yeah, didn't use this at all. I did reheat milk for practicing drinking out of an open cup with Rook, and I would just boil water in a kettle, put the water in a cup, then put the milk in the cup, if that makes sense. Yeah, that was a huge waste of money, and I just wasn't thinking. I thought this was like the only way you could heat up milk. I didn't know that you could just use hot water and a cup. For burp cloths, I just have a variety of thrifted ones that my mom got, which like I feel like it's a waste to pay full price for burp cloths because they're just like a chunk of fabric that gets spit up on them. Yeah, I just used whatever for burp cloths. These specific ones that were just thrifted were great because you're not worrying about them staying nice. They get gross and no one cares. Bottles can't be dried with a towel because it's not sanitary enough. So I had to get something, and I ended up getting this Boone one. I did use this, I really liked it, so I used it for the Haka and the Medela bottles that I was using for storing milk. What's really nice is that I could just put it in one of my cabinets and close it and not look at it. Yeah, would recommend. Sheet-wise, I just have a couple basic bed sheets. This one's by Burt's Bees in white. I've been told that white is a bad idea, and it very well could be, but I will take that risk. I haven't had any issue with having white bed sheets for Rook. He'll spit up on them, have blowouts, and I'll just use like baking soda and vinegar to get stains out, and yeah, no issues. I really thought that would be a problem, but I have 2 white bed sheets for him, and they're doing great. And then for Swaddles, I went with majority stretch Swaddles. I heard that the muslin cloth is really good for like breathability, but it's not good for if you want to like properly swaddle your baby. Stretch Swaddles is where it's at. They are so good at keeping your baby's arms down. If you guys follow me, you know that I actually didn't swaddle Rook with his arms down, but in the very beginning I did until I was told not to. And the stretch Swaddles really can like hold them tight. After we stopped swaddling his arms down, I did still swaddle his torso, and it was just nice knowing that a stretchy material is secure and it's not gonna unravel in the middle of the night. So my plan is to just hopefully swaddle the baby traditionally, but I've heard that that doesn't always work out. So I did buy this Anna and Eve swaddle. I didn't use this, I returned it actually. I think items that you buy on your registry from Bye Bye Baby have an extended return window. I think that's how I did it. So I got my money back, thankfully. Yeah, I didn't swaddle his arms down, so I obviously didn't need this, but also the stretch swaddles worked fine, so unnecessary. Oh, something that I'm just gonna throw in because it doesn't really have a category is this Love Nest head rest. I'm thinking that this is going to be a bit of an essential just because I heard it's very common for babies to get a flat head. Okay, so I didn't use this, but I'm not mad about it. I didn't use it because Rook hated it. I really wanted to, but every time I put his head on it, he was upset. Don't know why, but I know that it can help prevent your child from getting a flat head, so I would recommend it, and I'm gonna try and use it again with the next kid. We did not get a baby bath because we are trying to manage without one because those things are huge, and where the heck am I gonna store it? So we don't have a baby bath. We're planning on just holding the child under the water. And I'm very glad we didn't get a baby bath. I've talked about this in other videos, but there's a lot of ways you can bathe your child without their own little bath thing. You can put a towel down, lay them down, you can shower with them, lots of options. So I also wasn't gonna get a baby towel and just use like our towels until I realized like eventually the kid's gonna need their own towel. Like Josh and I only have one towel each, and no one likes using a wet towel, so it just, I agree, getting a third towel or at least getting your child their own towel, great idea. I wish we didn't get a baby towel because Rook outgrew that thing after like 3 months. So just get a normal towel for your kid. If you already have extra towels at home, that's great. Like I said, we only own 2 towels for Josh and myself, so we needed a third one, but I should have just gotten like an adult regular towel. And then I have all natural baby wash. Okay, I didn't use the body wash that I showed in this video. I have a different one that I've loved and actually repurchased recently. I will link that in the description in case you're interested. It's locally made in Canada and like no bad ingredients, so loving that. I have this little Cradle Cap brush that came in a set with all these brushes. It's probably still too early to comment on this because we just haven't needed the comb or the bristle brush. The Cradle Cap scrubber thing, fantastic. The soft brush I really liked to use on Rook as like a sleep cue for nighttime. Yeah, I think that was a good kit to get. There's another Cradle Cap comb that was a game changer for getting rid of Rook's cradle cap. I'll link that in the description. And then I also have this super cute rubber duck. I always wanted my kid to have a rubber duck to play with in the bathtub because it's just tradition, you know, we all did it. It's like a rite of passage. But also this one has an indicator on the bottom that tells you if the water's too hot. Yeah, so I think from day one that thing didn't work. It just always kind of said hot, even when the water wasn't. But the point still stands true that I was just excited to have a rubber duck for my kid to play with in the tub. As for knowing what temperature to keep the water at, just like less hot than you would want, like it's not rocket science, and you're gonna just figure it out as you go. Baby change mat. I got the Kikaroo, which is a splurge and definitely a luxury baby item. Okay, yes, a splurge and a luxury baby item, but so worth it. I cannot imagine having to clean the covers for diaper change mats. Like, that just seems like so much unnecessary work. You don't necessarily need this particular one, but they have other wipeable change pads that are cheaper and just way more practical, like holy moly. Next up, the baby bouncer that we got. So I didn't want to get a swing and a baby bouncer because that's a lot of money, but we got a baby bouncer given to us by a friend who isn't using it at the moment, which is super nice of her. And it's just this basic bouncer, nothing special. Okay, so we used this bouncer. It was great. It did its job, but I've mentioned this before. I hated how like big it was and I couldn't store it places or tuck it away. It just was always like there, especially living in a smaller home. It was just not very practical. So I want to get one of the baby bouncers that folds up for my next kid. I will again link one in the description, the one that I'm planning on getting. I'm not pregnant, if you're wondering. I just am always planning for the future. Bassinet that I did end up going with was this Kidco. I've never heard of this before, but I found it on Facebook Marketplace, of course. Okay, so this bassinet was horrible, and I think it was horrible because it was secondhand and it was like sunken in, so Rook didn't sleep well in it, and also like it was kind of hard. Like there was some padding, but the plastic underneath was just like really hard. So long story short, we got rid of it and we used the bassinet that attaches to the stroller, and that worked for us. Oh, I also got the Diaper Genie gifted to us. I just hear you need one. I've heard people say that the Diaper Genie doesn't actually do a good job of keeping the scent in, and yeah, like, I mean, just change it often and I think you're fine. It's not amazing, but it's better than just like an open garbage can, you know? I got the Thule Sleek Stroller and the Nuna Lite car seat. Yes, okay. The Thule Sleek Stroller and the Nuna Pippa Lite car seat, fantastic. So happy with those choices. I recently did a full review of the Thule Sleek Stroller. I'll link that for you guys. 10 out of 10, love them. Yeah, so maybe this was a lot of stuff. When I look at it all on the ground, it doesn't seem like that much. But when I'm talking about it, it took me like 5 years to get through. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff, Ashley. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little embarrassed, but can you blame me? Like, when you're entering motherhood, you don't know what's going on, and I was just trying my best. A couple things to note, I'll link everything in the description that I talked about in that video in case there are items that do work for you. The biggest point I want to make is that just because a lot of these items weren't essential for me, doesn't mean they're not essential for you. That was my issue, is that I tried to prepare for every scenario instead of reacting to my specific baby, you know? Also, if you don't know, I have a Patreon where if you sign up, you can get access to my bare minimal baby essentials list, checklist, so that when you're preparing for your child, you can like keep it on your fridge and check it off as you go. Super cute. And I made sure that it had items that every mom needs. Like it's the bare minimum baby essentials. And then after you've had your child and you see what your specific kid needs, you can add to it. But this is just kind of like everything every mom should get and nothing more kind of thing. That was my goal for it. Yeah, I think that's everything. Again, if you're interested in the Narwhal self-cleaning vacuum mop, check it out in the link in the description. I can't recommend it enough. It has really been an awesome addition to our house. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!